Welcome, beautiful soul. It's time to remember who we are. You were born for this moment, this breath. Nature teaches us and reminds us that whatever it is that we are searching for, that whatever our hearts and souls are longing for, we must know our unlimited power and worth. It's all already within us. So thank you for saying yes to this moment. Thank you for saying yes to this journey. And most of all, thank you for saying yes to yourself. Welcome, beautiful soul. Welcome, beautiful soul. Today, we're going to be discussing something so important to so many of us, and that is, how can I have peace even now with so much going on? We have natural disasters, we have wars, we have all of the just friction and tension with people disagreeing and not able to see the common humanity that exists. So how in the world, if I'm feeling stuck and overwhelmed, how can I cultivate peace? How, if I'm feeling anxious or feeling depressed, can I access peace? How, if I'm struggling in my relationships, if I'm struggling within my own self, can I have peace? Well, today I hope that you're ready to make some space to pause, to have a little stillness as we look deeply at what is available to us, because the medicine that we're all looking for, I'm here to tell you that there's a way to access it, to cultivate the peace that we're all longing for. So before we go any further, we're going to do what I love to start every episode with, and that is some breathing. So if you're safely able to close your eyes, you're not driving, you're not handling anything that would be harmful for you to close your eyes, please, I invite you to right now, with your eyes closed, tap into your breath. Notice the inhale and the exhale moving through your nostrils. And notice, where else in your body do you feel this breath moving? Maybe it's in your heart center, your chest. Maybe it's up high near your throat. And maybe it's down deeper by your abdomen. We're simply noticing. There's no right or wrong answer. And as we're breathing, this is our time to give thanks to ourselves for being alive, for being here in this moment. And this is also our opportunity to say thank you for a lovely, beautiful, exquisite breath of life, moving through us and evident all around us. We're grateful for breath of life. And so we're going to do one deep inhale now together for 5 seconds, and then we're going to hold it for 5 seconds and then slowly release it for 5. And as you're inhaling, I want you to imagine you are giving yourself all that nourishes you, all that replenishes you, all that uplifts and supports you, all that is filling you with everything that you need. And then when we're holding it, we're allowing ourselves to connect even deeper with that breath. And as we exhale, we're moving that breath through every facet of our being and exhaling anything that's no longer needed. Any worry, any tension, any stress. So let's go ahead and do that. 5, 5, 5 together. Nice deep inhale now. And then hold it. And now slowly exhale, release. And whenever you're ready, you can slowly come back if your eyes are closed. And here we are. Now, if you didn't notice a difference in that breathing, I only suggest keep practicing, because breath is such a powerful opportunity, invitation, and it's a doorway into us reconnecting with the part that we sometimes leave on the shelf, and that is our inner heart, our inner soul, our inner spirit. We sometimes can get so caught up into our head, to the thoughts. What do I need to do next? What just happened? What did I say to so-and-so? What did so-and-so say to me? What should I say to so-and-so? What do I hope they say back to me? And we can go on and on with all the things that are running through the mind. And that is also the place that we experience so much distress. And it is very counterintuitive. For those of you who are wondering, like, what do I mean by that? I mean that suspending our thought is so integral to being able to cultivate what deep down our inner heart and our inner soul, our inner spirit is longing for, our inner essence. You can use whatever synonym you want. You know what I'm talking about, that beautiful inner reservoir within us that knows. And for some of us, that's pretty distant. And we have spent more time in the thought realm. And when we're in the thought realm, our thoughts will tell us the story that we should keep thinking. That if you could just figure this out, if you could just solve it, if you just keep going over it, you're going to get understanding. If you just stay with the thought a little bit longer, it's going to all make sense. And instead, can I tell you the opposite is happening? We are consuming so much information that is filling this thought realm to the point of overflow. And that is exactly what we're feeling, the overwhelm. And if you're an empath, like I believe many of you are, then those thoughts are moving down into a place where now we don't see a separation between what we're thinking, what's going on around us, and who we are. And that also can be so overwhelming. Have you ever felt the heaviness? Thinking about so much that is causing harm and hurt on this planet. There are so many examples. The natural disasters, the wars. Now, even as I'm speaking, do you feel the heaviness of this? I do. So I want us to think about, how can I begin to cultivate the peace, even with all that's happening? Well, I gave you one clue, and that is breathing. And when the mind is going, the one thing it's going to tell you is that you don't have time to slow down and breathe, that is useless, it's not going to help, and that instead you should get back to thinking and doing and trying to solve it and figure it out and get your answer up here. And instead, as I'm closing my eyes right now, it's a reminder to drop further down into this space. I'm pointing to the heart center. Because in our heart center, we know that we are connected to all, and the all that we want to connect to is the expansive all that knows that no matter what is going on, all is well and more well than can be imagined. I quote that so often. Thank you, Adi Ashanti. And my husband even said today that I should somehow explain what in the world does that mean, because it can sound like, some fairy tale language, all is well and more well than can be imagined, when there's suffering happening in front of us and maybe within us or to us. And what I mean by that is I want you to picture, what does all mean to you? All. Does all mean a couple of things? Does all mean only what you can directly control and impact? Or does all mean all? The known, the unknown, especially what I can't even describe or define. That's the all I'm talking about. When we settle in, because we're breathing, to that expansive all, the all that is beyond time and space dimension, the all that could never fit into our mind, the all that literally could not even be answered through language. That's the all that I'm talking about. And then the next word, and that is is. All is. Is beautiful because it's present tense. It means not all could be, all might be, all should be, all will be, all used to be. It means all is in this moment. So if you're listening to this and you're tuning in and you're with us right now, which I'm so grateful if you are, then guess what? In this moment, you are alive and breathing and you are well. And that is why I say, hello, beautiful soul. You are beautiful. No matter what you're going through, your essence is so beautiful. And in this moment, the word is connects us to the all. So all is. The next word is well. Well does not mean I'm comparing it to something else. I'm comparing myself to someone else. Well means just that. It is well. It is well. I don't need to be somewhere else. I don't need to turn it into something else. I can settle into this moment, even for just a second, because some of us, the mind is just going so fast that to settle, we only can do it in glimpses. And if that's you, it's okay. The one thing that I often share with clients, with family members, with friends, it's something that I've learned as a mystic, a priest, a yogi, a spiritual teacher, that the presence, the capital P, now I'm going beyond present tense, presence with the capital P, is our connection to the deepest part of who we are, the most meaningful part of who we are. And it's always available. That's why it is with a small p, present tense, because the big P of presence is a consciousness, a knowing that I am more than my physical being. I am more than my experience. I am more than my opinion. I am more than what other people have told me. Now, how did I get to this? If you listen to me at any point in time, I go back to a dear, dear brother who asked me this question in an airport. I think we were in the San Jose airport, ready to head back to our respective locations, me back to Colorado, him back to Philadelphia. And we had just gathered together for a beautiful spiritual conference. And he said to me, like, where's this wisdom? Where is this knowing that you have? Where does it come from? And without thinking, because we know about thought, without thinking, I said suffering. Now, I am certainly not advocating that you go out and create suffering for yourself. What I am saying is if you've ever had an experience with suffering, and I would think that everyone's raising their hand right now because I'd love to meet someone who's never had an experience with suffering, then there's an opportunity there. Because what it teaches us is in that moment, all I can do is breathe. And so all is well means that if I am breathing, I'm part of the all. It's happening now. And the well is the big P of presence that lets me know it is well. And then I love going even farther and saying, whatever I can imagine, when I contemplate and reflect on well, and the capital P of presence that's connecting me to all, guess what? There's even more. And that's the all is well and more well than can be imagined. That means it's moving beyond my own ability to consider what else there can be. And that's the place of this massive opportunity and potential that exceeds our understanding. And I want it to exceed our understanding, because if we can only experience what we can understand, and that is so tiny and small and limited, and I want more for us. So here, let's come back to this opportunity to cultivate peace, because we can cultivate it. Why? How do I know you can cultivate it? How do I know I can cultivate it? How do I know we can cultivate peace wherever we are? It's because that is our true essence. Peace is not something I'm looking to go find. I want us to begin to make space that peace is who I am. It is my natural home, and I am reconnecting to it. And that is what I mean when I often say, let's come home to peace. Come home to peace. It's already within you. It's not outside of you. And so even with all that's happening, I want to begin to discipline myself, and not discipline in that way of harsh and being, strict and rigid. Discipline in terms of it's the practice, the discipline of it. That I make space to, like, when my mind wanders, when I'm feeling the heaviness, when I'm feeling so stuck and hopeless and despair, and I'm feeling so sick and tired of hearing people name call and call each other left, right, blue, red, black, white, brown, yellow, everything in between. When I'm so overwhelmed with looking at the harm that humanity is inflicting and causing upon humanity. When I am so feeling sadness because of the harm that's happening to our very planet, because of the choices that humans are making. And when I'm watching people lose possessions, lives, loved ones, how in the world, Michanda, could you have peace? I'm going to hear and tell you, because it's who you are. And it's why you are. We talked about that before. Who are you really? That question means, why am I really? There's an invitation. If you are here right now and you're listening, then there is purpose alive. And part of that purpose is to make our way back home to peace. For some of us, that means wading through the thick foliage within a jungle. For some of us, it means going through a foggy, dark night. Hello, some of you know what I'm talking about when I say dark night of the soul. And if you don't know, it's okay. For those of you who have gone through it or are going through it, all we can do is breathe. And then, little by little, instead of resisting, make space to be in each moment, breathing, to connect to that inhale and know that every inhale is an affirmation that I am still here and that there's a reason I am here. And that reason is for you and for all of us. Because the more that we begin to be okay with being here, instead of trying to be somewhere else in our relationship and our jobs, somewhere else on this planet physically, if we can be right here and know that in each moment when I am fully right here, all is well. Yes, there is so much happening on the outside, but can I tell you, the peace that we're craving, the medicine we're all looking for, it's in our hands. It's in our heart. It's in our choice to breathe and know that our name is peace. And that is what we are coming home to. And no one else is going to give it to us. You can't go out and buy it on a store shelf. There are plenty of stores that will want to try to sell it to you. But I'm here to tell you that all you can do is practice with gratitude and gentleness, being in each moment connected to your breath. Now, nature is the best example we can have. When I look at a blade of grass, I see the blade of grass. I don't see a blade of grass trying to be something else. I see the blade of grass. And I see that that is a manifestation of a seed planted so long ago, and it keeps regenerating and growing and evolving to the grass that I'm looking at. That is us. We keep evolving. We keep shifting and moving and growing, whether we recognize it or not. A lovely quote that someone shared with me, and I don't have it written down, so I'm going to improvise. And the quote basically says that the mountain that you're staring at, that looks like it's so hard to climb, is there only for a moment. Because can I tell you, there's another moment, and some of you have experience with this, that you climbed a mountain. Maybe you felt like you were being dragged over the mountain. And you can now see that that mountain that was so large is now behind you. And what remains is the lesson, the growth, having gone through it. Now, I shared in episode 1, yes, I've been through divorce, and it was so hard and so painful. Yes, I have also, as a priest, been through the challenges and a very specific, I'm not going to speak for every religion, but I'm going to speak for the place where I was and what I was experiencing. I experienced losing my way by trying to conform to a way outside of me. Now, sometimes that can be beneficial. In my instance, I lost my connection with who I am. I certainly lost my peace. But did I really lose it? Well, if you've been listening, the answer is no, because how can I lose what I am? What I did find is a way back to slowing it down and paying attention to the still, quiet voice within me. And now my hope for all humanity is that we find the very thing that we're looking for, the medicine, the healing, the hope that we're looking for is already within us. That we find our way back to that light in us, that peace in us that's waiting for us to say, I am more than enough. I am well. And the peace that I'm looking for is not going to come when everything stops and it's all nice and neat and orderly the way I would like it. And I do like things nice and neat and orderly. As I'm saying that out loud, I'm kind of smiling like, my family will tell you, man, I can sometimes be a taskmaster when I say, let's clean up the physical space, because yes, sometimes the physical space helps me find my way back to calm. But can I tell you that even when it's chaos outside and chaos in the house, that we all still can close our eyes for a moment and come back to breath and know that, wait a minute, I'm here. That means I'm part of the all. I'm part of presence. And it's my choice to choose where I put my energy. Now, that's a big one because there are so many temptations to put your energy in a place that will only exacerbate the stress, the worry, the disconnect, the overwhelm, the anxiousness, the depression, the feeling like you're all by yourself. Hello, scrolling down, comparing, seeing what other people are doing. That's one big way that will cause you to feel the opposite of who you are, which is peace. So I say, take a note from nature. If you can't be in it, at least imagine it. Or look out a window, open a book, but even better, go step out in nature and breathe in that fresh oxygen. Breathe in that fresh prana energy, that fresh chi. Breathe in that fresh life force, that fresh breath of life that comes from all the beautiful vegetation, giving us the oxygen that we need and taking from us all that carbon dioxide that we don't need. And this beautiful reciprocity, reminding us that we're part of it all. We're part of a beautiful exchange. Spend time with yourself being gentle and loving. Now, that might be new for you. You may be used to being hard on yourself, telling yourself you should be somewhere else, doing something else, performing better. And I want you to pause that and say, right now, I'm going to practice giving love from me to me. That I'm worthy of that love. I'm worthy of the gentleness. Now, how would you speak to a baby learning to walk and the baby falls down? Would you say, get up, what's wrong with you? You silly little baby, you should be, you would never say that. I pray you would never say that. I believe you would never say that. And so I want you to speak to yourself in the same gentle way, like, wow, yes, awesome. You're breathing, you're alive, you're still here, you're part of us, and you are doing exceptionally well because you're here. You are already well. Your being here shows your worthiness and your gift and your power and your resolve to come home and trust and know that you can't be better than you already are. You can't go out and make it better. You already are. And so when we think that we should be somewhere else, it only causes the depression and anxiety to grow. We get worried about what's ahead of us. The anxiety starts to heighten. And we start to panic about what might happen based on what we have gone through. And we start judging ourselves harshly. And the depression can come in. And we're judging and we're judging. And with each judgment, we're eating ourselves. Like cannibalism, literally. We're eating ourselves. And now that's all in an individual level. On a collective level, guess what? Everything you're doing to you impacts the collective. So who wants more peace in this world? I hope you're all putting your hands up and saying yes. Can I tell you, if you want more peace in this world, then please remember and come home to the peace in you. Because when you tap into the truth, the capital T truth, that you are already peace, then you are growing the peace that collectively we all want to experience and we all get to experience when each of us begins to say yes to the peace here. Now, what's the opposite of that peace? That's the criticism, the complaining, the bitterness, the eating the wound over and over again. That's just hopefully an unpleasant picture. Eating your wound. And that's what we do sometimes. I've done it. Eaten my wound. Talking about it, digesting it, going over it over and over until I became sick of it. That was part of the suffering. And I finally had to say, there's another way. And in that still moment, a little flicker of light comes through and lets you know, yes, there is another way, and it's within you. It's not outside of you. And we all get to practice it. So when you turn on the television, which I advise you to do it very consciously and be very specific and choosy about what you're taking in, notice, is it causing you to feel more uptight and more judgmental and more looking at life through a lens of us and they, them and those? Or is it helping you remember that we're all one giant we? Now we're heading into a new season. In the United States, yes, it's a new administration. We're also coming up on celebrating a man this month that many of you understand and quote his I have a dream. But can I tell you, he said more than a dream. And I'm talking about Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And he also spoke about this beautiful opportunity we have living in this one house with so many dimensions of humanity. And I'm going to add to that and say, wow, isn't it about time that we learn how to live and share in this house as one humanity? What do we have to lose? Our bitterness, our unforgiveness, our judgment, our prejudice, our stereotypes, our fears about other, which really means that I don't know who I am. Because if I knew who I am, I would know that we're all already connected. Now, maybe I wasn't raised that way. Maybe people around me don't tell me that, but the truth is we are all interconnected. And so whatever you're doing to you, we all feel it. And certainly what you're doing to others, we all feel it. So let's start being gentle and compassionate and coming home to who we are, which is peace, already, now, and always. Already, now, and always. It's who you are. It's who we are. Are you ready? Are you ready to practice? Because that's all it takes is a little practice of more gentleness, more kindness, more compassion, and to know the way home is already inside of you. Simply make space to breathe and listen and say yes to that small beckoning that says, I am already enough. I'm already okay. And I'm part of the capital P presence that connects us all. Thank you so much, beautiful soul, for joining me today. I look forward to more time and space together. Please like this video. Please share it. Please subscribe. It helps this message grow. Thank you so much, beautiful soul. Thank you, beautiful soul, for remembering who we are and for making time and space to be with us today. As you go forward on your journey to the known and unknown places, continue to listen to your inner heart and honor your soul, because your answers are always within you. Please consider supporting us and spreading more light and love with this message by simply liking the video below, subscribing, and consider sharing as well. Most of all, take gentle care and breathe. We see you. We thank you, beautiful soul.